Yeah.
Josiah, just a month into practice, what do you know about this team? What have you learned about this team?
We are very good. I'm very pleased with where we're at right now, but we have a long way to go. We obviously have new faces, new players, so we're playing much differently, and I think we're a lot better than we were last year at this time, and I'm just happy with where we're at, but knowing that we have a lot to improve on.
How excited are you to see this mesh of new players and veterans together against a team like Michigan State?
I'm very excited. You know, that game on Sunday will tell us a lot on both ends of the floor, offensively and defensively. Michigan State is a tough, hard-nosed team just like ourselves, but they're just wearing a different jersey. So I'm excited to get to play against guys who aren't wearing Tennessee uniforms, and I know everybody in the locker room is, but it'll tell us a lot about where we're at and how we need to improve.
What are the things you get out of a road exhibition opposed to when you guys usually host those here or neutral site last year?
I think it tells you a lot, especially for the guys who've never been in a college atmosphere, let alone a college road atmosphere. I'm glad the fans are allowed to come this year, and I'm excited. I know that everybody's going to be prepared, but obviously there's nerves and things that you can't emulate in practice without fans, especially hostile fans, so I'm looking forward to it.
What's the difference between playing a Power 5 team and kind of a mid-major when you're scrimmaging, I guess?
I would just say maybe the competitive level. Sometimes in the past where we haven't, scrimmaged a Power 5 team, kind of like a Division II, Division III team, it's not as competitive as maybe you want it to be. But I know Michigan State, based on what they were able to do last year and how our scrimmage went last year, that it'll be very competitive.
So I know you still have more to learn about this team, especially after this game, but how much better of an offensive team do you think you guys can be this year?
Much better. I feel like everybody who was on the team last year and who's here this year, we've grown in many ways on both ends of the floor, but specifically on our offensive end. And then the newcomers, the freshmen and the transfers that we have are very dynamic, both on the ball and off the ball. And just the style of play that we're playing with is a little tweaked from years past, and so we're playing much faster, trying to get up and down the floor a lot more, so we have more offensive possessions.
Without Santi this weekend, how good will it be for the newcomers, transfers, and freshmen to kind of be thrown into the deep end there?
Yeah, it'll be really good. I'm obviously very sad that Santi won't be out there, but, it'll be really good for other guys to step up because I feel like we know what we're going to get out of him each and every night. But, with guys who haven't been in the fire on the road before, it'll be a good test for them against a great competitive defensive team that we know is going to come to play.
Where are the newcomers at understanding the expectations defensively in this program?
I feel like they're catching on very well. Some are ahead of others. Obviously, there's so much you have to learn and so little time. It's taken me 3-4 years to figure it out. But the guys are moving along really well. There's definitely a difference between when you're playing against the starting group and the non-starting group and the guys who've been in it. And so it's easier when they're with us and we can kind of coach them along. But when we're playing against them, we're trying to kill them. So, but it's easy in film. As we started watching film, it's giving them another outlet to explore and how to learn how to get better and where they're supposed to be. But they're moving right along very well.
How much should you see Dalton Connect to help your offense spread the floor and such?
Yeah, a whole lot. DK can score at all three levels. I would put him and Tyreek Key up there as the best shooters I've ever seen. Me and DK are workout partners. We work out with Rod, and he's pushing me. I get upset when I'm not holding up my end of the bargain on shooting or whatever drill we're doing. But yeah, he's really dynamic with the ball in his hands and off the ball as well. And I know for a fact that he'll take our offensive game to a whole nother level.
Josiah, what do you see from Freddie, and I guess the difference from when he got here in January till now? How much of a benefit do you think it was for him to do that, take that path?
I think it was very, very beneficial for Freddie to get that experience under his belt. And I've seen a lot of growth on the court and off the court. Freddie, when he got here, he could care less about defense and what that required. But now he's starting to learn that, you got to be able to guard on the ball and off the ball. And I've seen a lot of improvement in his off the ball defense in a lot of areas. And then offensively, he's very dynamic. He's quick, he's strong, he's big, and he's kind of like Zakai but in a 6'5" body. And so he's able to do a whole lot on both ends of the floor.
Are you liking the progress Zakai is making?
Say that
Are you liking the progress Zakai is making coming back?
I am. Zakai, watching him practice and work out, you would have never known that, you know, he had an ACL tear however many months ago before. But, you know, I've seen him work endlessly with Chad and G, and there's a guy named JD over at the football complex, and he's working, doing 3 or 4 rehab times, scheduling day in and day out. So I'm not surprised. Well, I am surprised, but, you know, the proof is in the pudding, and he's been putting in the work to get to where he's at right now.
What have you seen from 2 of those younger big men, Cade and JP?
Maybe next time. JP and Cade are very good. They're going to help us a lot defensively. Cade is really dynamic. I know they had talked about, you know, when Cade first got here, redshirting him, but, you know, the way he's been playing and practicing, I have to guard him because I'm usually at the 4 spot, and so I know what it takes to go against him each and every day, and I know it's a challenge. You know, I have to bring my A game because he's real physical, he's fast, he knows what we need to do on both ends of the floor, and he's a really good connector on both ends of the floor. And then JP is really, really talented. He's got a lot of great skill, got a lot of great length. You know, at 7 feet, he's able to move and stay in front of guards and get to where he wants to on the floor. But, you know, they realize they have a long way to go, but they've been very impressive so far.
Rick talks about the non-negotiables defensively. What do you feel like those non-negotiables are, where if you make this or that mistake, you're definitely coming out of the game?
Well, our biggest thing is 5 moving as 1, and so you can kind of tell when there's a lapse in a person on the ball, off the ball. So the biggest things are staying in front of your man, guarding your yard, we call it, and then off the ball, just moving as 1, as a unit. And we don't like to switch too much. We like to keep the matchups how they are. So I just say staying in front of the ball and just being able to not give up separation off the ball.
Thank you, Josiah.
Appreciate y'all.
Josiah.
Thanks, Jay.